taught that. It's not something that I was taught. It's something that I saw, right? So my mom, growing up, she always worked for law firms. She had a relaxer. Everyone in my family who worked in an office had a relaxer. It's, the composed, ponytails or the straight hair. Like, they never wore their hair curly because it just wasn't accepted. And they had so many other barriers that were keeping them, I think, from being taken seriously. They didn't want their hair to be another obstacle. Yes. But now we're in the day and age when, natural hair is so much more prevalent. So I think that there's a lot more acceptance, but there's still kind of a long way to go, I think, for certain work atmospheres.
I've had every hairstyle you could think of. So I was with Associated Press for 10 years, and I was at E! and NBC for 4 years. And I do mostly for the Insider and CBS. And first of all, when you're on air, your hair is an expression of self, especially in entertainment space. So, like right now, I have a weave because every day people are blow drying my hair. It's getting burnt out. So I was like, put the weave in. But some days I wear it natural. Just, in my business, you want to keep your hair. You try to keep it the same, your calling card. But then sometimes you just want to have fun. And there is a place for it. I can name so many women of color on TV right now that have natural hairstyles, have short hair, long hair, weaves. Now it's part of fashion. And guess what? White folks are doing it now, too.
No, listen. I can tell the color of my hair. I don't care. I think, of course, nobody should care. It should be what's in here instead of what's out here. Right. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, and I work at a place where self-expression is literally just that. You will self-express all the way down to your feet, and that's what I do. It's what I want to wear. I wear pants. Well, I wear spandex and shirts every day. So, and if there is a place where I don't feel comfortable wearing that, then sometimes.
Hi, my name is Angela Christmas, and I'm coming to you to talk to you about natural hair. What is natural hair? Natural hair is the hair that people of color is born with. It's not altered and chemically or heat altered. It's just the hair that's born out your head. Simple as that. Why is this such a big deal? Because for people like us, or people ethnic with different types of hair, it causes problems with finding a job. That's the big thing. Or it causes stress within the job. Why? Because it's considered unkept. Bree McCartney, a main source, says unkept is considered unkept, quote, unkept is not combed, unkept hair, not cared for, neglected, disheveled, messy, unkept clothing, unkept lawn, unpolished, rude, or crude, rough or crude. This can be considered a problem, end quote, this can be considered a problem when you're looking for employment. If you Google unkept, you'll come up with thousands of pages of natural hair as considered as this unkept style. For employers, I feel like acceptance of natural hair would have to bring three things to your job. One, it will be able to bring down stress. Two, it will be able to bring new talent, growing talent to your workforce. Three, it will able to bring down health. Seeing natural hair as a distraction can be considered bullying. To quote Janice Robinson of the Huffington Post, natural hair, like, quote, black natural hair like afros, afro puffs are a distraction. Well, that's a huge insult and borderline bullying. That's how my hair grows out my head. and when I put it in the ponytail holders or comb it. Saying it is a distraction is like saying my face is a distraction because it's the way I was born. Asking me to process or relax my hair to make you feel comfortable is asking me to have plastic surgery so you can look at me. End quote. And that behavior is how it is. It isn't like we wake up in the morning and decide, not to comb our hair. When our hair is in afro state, it's because we did comb our hair. We comb the curls out to make it to make it that state. It's natural, hence the word natural hair. It's not dirty. It can be combed in style. Actually, the afro is a style, a natural style. And it's not a form of being rebellious. This is just the way we were born. And society should accept us for who we are. Natural hair is not a distraction. It is just something that African American women and women of color have to deal with, curly hair. But for some, it's unnecessary stress. Jules Wilson of the Huffington Post writes that approximately 100 women gathered last week to contemplate the idea that their skills, talents, and intelligence could be overshadowed by a hairstyle. More than often, this concern is based on women of color. Yes, the hair that grows naturally from the root of our heads could be considered a contributing factor to the growing unemployment rate. Baffling. End quote. This is a stress for students or anybody that's in the work field. Your working should be about what we contribute to our employers. Our talents, our skills, our intelligence, the things that they hire us for. Not the fact that our hair, which grows naturally like this, it's an unnecessary stress. We have plenty of stress. As a nursing student, will have people's lives in my hand. I do not need to think about what my employer feels would be considered appropriate when this is a natural part of my life. That's like an employee saying, hey, we don't like the fact that you have 5 fingers. It's unnecessary. It's an unnecessary stress, and I believe once these stresses are taken from the healthcare and different employment fields, they will see that they're missing out on tons of talent with this stigmatism. Now that we know that like natural hair is not a distraction and that discrimination against natural hair, it can cause stress on employees and employers missing out on talented people. I feel that natural hair, going natural will save employees money on insurance claims. BlackDoctors.org, in their article Relaxers and Fibroids, write, there may be a link between natural hair and uterine fibroids, as well as early puberty in young girls. Scientists followed more than 23,000 premenstrual menopause premenopause Black American women from 1997 to 2009, and found that the 2 to 3 times higher rate for fibroids amongst Black women may be linked to the chemical exposure through scalp lesions and burns resulting from relaxers. Women who get their first menstrual period before the age of 10 were also more likely to have uterine fibroids, and earlier menstruations may result from the product Black girls are using. According to a separate study in the Annual of Epidemiology last summer. What this means is that the women that do get hired for straightening their hair and going in and avoiding the stress of having natural hair go in, and a lot of them do catch fibroids. I know this personally because I was one of the women who had fibroids. I am 35 and I have a hysterectomy. This was caused by fibroids. I started noticing that I had fibroids at 23 and ended up having a hysterectomy at 30. Then I went natural. I used my insurance from my job to pay for my hysterectomy. This is an expense that could have been avoided if I just wore my hair naturally as it was. Tracy Sanders, the author of Natural Hair, What Are My Rights, writes that Title VII prohibits discrimination in the workplace based on race, which is tied to physical characteristics such as hair and facial features. Title VII, however, allows employees to establish appearance and grooming standards. The dress and grooming codes must be neutral and adapted without discrimination intent, and applies consistently to all racial and ethnic groups. When dressing and grooming codes are adapted without discrimination intent, but have a disciplinary impact, they may be enforced only if necessary for legitimate business purposes. This was, end quote, this was said to say that, yes, we might need grooming and ethical reasons for business purposes only. However, the hair that grows naturally from African American women could not be considered as a distraction. It's the hair that we were born with, and it's beautiful. And to discriminate against a woman because of hair can cause stress to that woman, cause stress to the employees that you have on staff for being understaffed or not staffed with properly suitable employee or teammates. And it can also save money on insurance rates. Thank you.